Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today is a long overdue video. I think I've got like 3 long overdue videos I really need to film, but this is the first one that I really want to get out there. So basically I am pregnant with baby number 4. So yeah, this pregnancy was a very surprising pregnancy. Obviously my other pregnancies, there were 3, have all been planned, and like we've been trying and it takes a while and stuff with us. So this one was like boom, right in my face. I was very shocked and overwhelmed, and it was just, so Christmas I was ill. Me and Ryan was really ill over Christmas. We was the year before, we had COVID the year before, I think, and then last year we had, I don't know if it was like the flu, but it was horrendous, and we had it for like 5 days trying to look after the girls. So anyways, there was that, being ill, even being ill on Christmas Day, then obviously having Christmas, and then Ella's birthday is 10 days after. So around being ill, Christmas, Ella's birthday was very like crazy time basically. My head wasn't really thinking about is my period late. So that's where it all started, and then it was either the 2nd, I think it was the 2nd or the 3rd. So it was the 2nd of January, so 2 days before Ella's birthday, and I think I was just getting ready, to go out, and I was just sitting there doing my makeup, and then it dawned on me, I was like, wait a minute, I've not had my period. And me and my sister, prior to this, were talking about like, oh, we wonder what the new year's going to entail, and all this lot. And then like I was like, oh my god, like I worked out my period was 5 days late. As I said, you know, I've been ill Christmas, I'm preparing for Ella's birthday. I didn't even think about my period, it didn't even cross my mind. So anyways, I took a pregnancy test because I think I had one left in, because I had a box, you know, they're just the cheap ones, because I think it was like last year we had like a scare. My period was like a day late, but it was all fine, I wasn't pregnant. So anyways, it came up straight away, like boom, pregnant. I think I even barely was able to put like the cap back on, and it said pregnant, and I was like, oh my god. Didn't really know what to think at first, because like I've never got pregnant from basically like not trying. We've always like tried and planned, and it was like a very big shock for me and Ryan. We really didn't know how to process it at first. So yeah, basically it was very a shock to us. So yeah, it was like, oh my god, it took me a while to get over it, because like everything was like kind of like, you know, when life just feels like everything's into place, like our business is going well, and the girls are fine, the girls are growing, everything just seemed fine and like, you know, in place. And then like boom, like a shock of being pregnant was not kind of in like our future plans. We kind of said after Ella we wouldn't have any more, but obviously like we didn't prevent it, you know, in the sense of like contraception wise, because we've been together for nearly 13 years now, me and Ryan, and we've never had to use contraception, because it took so many years, each child, apart from Lily only took 9 months to conceive, so we've never had to use contraception. So like it was a shock, it was really a shock, and yeah, still now it's kind of crazy. Like I'm 21 weeks now, and as I'm filming this, which I know I'm so far gone to be filming this, but it's been crazy. Like I was ill really bad for the past, I think right up until March, so we're in April now. So yeah, for the first 3 months of this year, I was horrendous. I've never felt so like pregnancy illness wise in my life. Like the sickness has been bad. I've had to be put on several different medications. I've barely been able to do anything. It really affected like my mental health. My mental health went like downhill, because I just basically felt like a crap mom in the nicest way without swearing. because I felt like I couldn't be the mom that I needed to be for the girls. The house was driving me insane. Like, if you know me, I like to be organized on top of everything. I wasn't able to do that. I wasn't able to eat. I'd throw up like several times a day. I wanted to do the school runs. It was really, really hard. Definitely don't want to do that again. So it's been really, really mentally, physically draining, this pregnancy. And it seems like it's actually been my hardest one. To say it's my 4th time being pregnant, it has been my hardest one by far. Which brings me to the gender. So we're not finding out the gender, which is driving me slightly insane a bit. It's going to be a surprise, because we said that with it being a surprise pregnancy, we might as well just leave the gender as a surprise, because praying. Okay, then excuse me, Mr. Tom Puzzle, that just randomly likes to go off in the playroom. I'm praying this is the last one, because I'm very grateful that I can get pregnant. But obviously, if you know my history, it's a very scary time being pregnant. It is not easy going whatsoever, and like mentally it can really affect my mental health. And like, I think I have done really well so far to say how bad I've had it. I've overcome the worst, and then now like feeling little on move, and it's just settled me so much. And not being sick is just amazing. And it's just amazing, like just feeling normal. Like, you take for granted feeling normal basically, and I definitely did, and I was so happy to finally get rid of this sickness. Right, what else do I need to update you on? So my sickness started about 8 weeks, so pretty-ish early. So from 8 weeks right up until probably about 19 weeks, 20 weeks, I've only just started to not feel sick, but I have still having to take my sickness tablets once a day, which they've been a nightmare. I've had to be on several ones because none of them were helping. And yeah, it's been brutal. At one point we thought there might have been twins in there because I was so sick, but thankfully my sister, my amazing big sister, she paid for us to have a private scan at 8 weeks, I think it was about 8 weeks. Baby was really, really tiny. Anyways, I'll have to try and insert some pictures. Yeah, it might have been about 10 weeks, maybe 9, 10 weeks. Everything seems such a long time ago because I'm 21 weeks now. But yeah, when we seen little one, he or she was so tiny, and we could see the sac, the fluid that they're in, and it was like a round circle around the baby, which I just thought was amazing. I've never been able to see that before on a scan, so that was amazing. Then we had a 12-week one. So my due date is the beginning of September, but with me being induced, I've had several I've only had one consultant appointment so far. Yeah, just one consultant appointment. She said to me she doesn't like her patients to go past 38 weeks, so she likes to have baby out by 38 weeks. So he or she will be born towards the end of August, which is kind of works out good because that's the 6 weeks holidays for the kids at school. So I'm praying I get a week or 2 to recover before having to do the school runs, and Ryan goes back to work, and then it's going to be like hits me, because obviously I've got those 2 to look after, then a new baby, and it's just going to be mental. I really don't know why I did it to myself. Like, oh god, like 3 kids getting dressed in the morning, and myself, and pack lunch. Oh, there's no bird outside, and everything. So, oh my god, it's gone close to the window. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. I don't know how I'm going to do it. So anyway, the 12-week scan went really good at the hospital. If I didn't say that already, we had a 12-week scan, everything was fine, and they gave me my due date. They put me, the private scan put me, is it like 2 or 4 days, I think 4 days behind. Then the 12-week scan put me 2 days ahead of my due date, so I was very happy for the hospital. And then I've recently just had my 20-week scan, which was last week. Yeah, it was last week, and that went all good. Oh my god, I was so nervous. I get so nervous with 20-week scan because obviously, they're checking baby's lips and hips and heart and, organs basically, and like it just terrifies me, because that's my main concern, is just making sure he or she is healthy, no matter what the gender is. I just want he or she to you know, not have any health problems, or, you know, not have a hard start in life, and just be perfectly healthy, which I'm so thankful the little one is. Very, very active. The scan lady really struggled to do measurements with baby, because he or she, which is what we always call baby at the minute, baby either gets called baby or he or she, or with Ella she likes to call baby a her or a he, whichever one she decides. So yeah, anyways, the baby wouldn't stop moving, and she really did struggle. And to even try and get a photo at the end, I had to get off the bed and dance around the room, because he or she was just facing downwards. I think they're head down at the minute, which obviously I know can change because I'm only 21 weeks. But apparently they are head down, so they're right ready to come out. Not yet though. I am hoping to go in naturally labour at 37 weeks. That is my wish. Because I've never experienced natural labour, I've always experienced induced an induction and induced labour, which is very, very painful. I've heard of a lot of people that have had both labours. Induction is way more painful, and yeah, and my labours have just been very, very painful, and I'm very, very sick all the time in labour, because my body just can't take the pain, and nothing seems to help. Any medication they give me, whether it's the diamorphine, is horrendous. I never want to have that. I've had that twice, and then the Gasnier barely does anything. I take it, I throw up, I try to take some more, and I throw up. So I'm just basically sick. So I just suffer basically with the pain. I don't really have anything. I'm terrified of having an epidural, because the needle in your back, yeah, that doesn't sit well with me. I'd rather suffer. So yeah, I basically just try to suffer with the pain, and I think naturally I would be able to suffer better. Like with Lily's labour was very gradual, and I literally only had Gasnier towards the end, and her labour was just amazing. Ella's was very, very intense from the start. That's why I didn't manage to film anything, because her labour was so painful. They even had to take the what was it, the pessary. They had to take that out because baby's heart rate was dropping. I was in excruciating pain. I couldn't stop throwing up. It was just horrendous. And there's nothing they can do to stop me from being sick either. They give me anti-sickness injections, and they don't do absolutely anything. So I'm just a mess. So yeah, my hope is to give birth naturally at 37 weeks. So technically, if I was to do that, I have technically 16 weeks left, which is kind of crazy to think about. Oh, my BMI. This time, my BMI, so with the 3 previous pregnancies I've had, my BMI has always been about 18.5. I think with Riley it was the lowest, and I wasn't too happy with my BMI. But I've always been like a slim figure girl, woman, should I say. And anyways, my BMI this time was 20. So I'm definitely like the heaviest pre-pregnancy that I've been. My camera's just about to cut off. Yeah, so this pregnancy I've definitely been like my heaviest I've ever been pre-pregnancy. So my body is struggling really bad, which is a good thing. At 20, my BMI being 20 for my height and my weight, they're really happy. But I think I'm like 8 stone something. But obviously I'm definitely gaining the pounds, and like right now my weight is probably the same as it was when I was at the end of my pregnancies with Lily and Ella. Ella was the heaviest. So my body's really, really struggling basically. Like I feel so heavy, like my boobs, my belly, just everything hurts. And I'm only 21 weeks. I'm struggling to sleep. I'm struggling to like bend down. I get out of breath. Yeah, so it's very, very tough. I'm just trying to like, I do apologise, my phone keeps going off. I do try to just like get on with it, but yeah, it's very difficult. I cannot wait to not be pregnant anymore. I mean, obviously I've been pregnant this whole year, which is nearly 4 months I've been pregnant for, and it's dragging. And this pregnancy also is the first pregnancy that I've ever had been pregnant on my birthday. I've never been pregnant on my birthday, which is crazy. I think I always conceive around May, June, July time. That's the time I normally conceive. And then my babies are born in the next year. So I've never actually got pregnant and given birth in the same year as well. So that's all new to me. That is crazy that, like, you know, I found out I was pregnant and I'm giving birth in the same year. But I'm very grateful, very, very grateful, and grateful and appreciated that little one is here. And as much as it was a shock and a surprise, you know, I'm a strong believer that everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason that the world wanted to give me another baby, just wanted me to just have sleepless nights, I think. I'm so happy for he or she to be here. Ella is over the moon. Lily's starting to, or has been saying for the past maybe month or so, if I ask her what's in my belly, she goes, baby. So, and then she goes gentle on my tummy. So that's adorable. So she's obviously starting to know. Ella is obsessed. Like, if you know anything about Ella, she loves babies. She has like maybe 12, I don't know if you can see, like, got 2 push-ins there, she got a push-in and then another push-in. Like, she loves babies. She's such a mothering figure. She reminds me so much of myself. Like, I was so into my dolls when I was little, and she feeds them, changes them, and she's very gentle and everything. So Ella is over the moon. Like, Ella can't wait for baby to be here. So she's been very, very happy. So I think she's going to be my little helper, which will be sweet. So both girls are absolutely, like, over the moon. Ryan's really excited. He actually said to me the other day, like, he actually can't wait for baby to be here, but it's just the sleepless nights is the one thing we struggle with the most, because he has to go straight back to work. I'm hoping he can have at least 2 weeks off. With Ella, he only had 1 week off. So yeah, if he could have 2 weeks off, that would be amazing, because you just gotta find your new routine. Because baby's kind of got to slot into the girls' routine, and yeah, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. And I think it's mainly the first, if little one has colic like the girls did, then it's obviously going to be horrendous like it was for them. But for the first 5 months, if they have colic, it's the worst. Once we pass like over 5 months, it seems to get easier. So I'm just gonna get through 5 months. But I'm looking forward to it. Don't know how I'm gonna juggle everything, but my sister has been amazing. She's helped so much with buying baby stuff. We have so much in. I've got to do so many videos to show you everything. We've got the pushchair, car seat already in. I should be getting the next to me cot this week. All the clothes I can buy are in, newborn and tiny baby, because we don't know what he or she is, so they're just white and grey and cream. So I've only bought a teeny tiny selection of clothes, which is new to me. When I'm not even pregnant, I buy he or she's clothes for the first 6 months. I'm very organised, but obviously I don't know if it's girl or boy, so they literally only have, they do have quite a lot of clothes, to be honest, and they have like 6 blankets, sheets. I've got sheets in for the next to me crib. Don't really buy a cot yet. We don't put baby in a cot. They normally have a sleep in the next to me crib or sleep with us. The girls have. We just find that's the easiest way for us. So yeah, baby's obviously normally in our room for the first year anyways, so we don't need to get a cot or anything yet. Got nappies in, well, also got sterilisers in, the prep machine, the day and night one, because you can turn the volume down. That's the only reason really I got it, because I have other kids in the house, and the cheaper prep machine, you can't turn the volume down, and it just goes beep, beep when it's finished, and you don't want that at like 3 in the morning waking your 2 kids up. So that's in. What else have I bought? Obviously bottles, dummies, bibs, socks, muslin squares. My sister's brought some little booties, so my sister has brought, she's paid half towards the pushchair, which I'm so grateful for, and she has brought so much baby stuff, because that was a fear that we had, because we didn't think financially we could have another child. That's why we haven't, and because we're just grateful that we have the girls. We thought we'd like struggle financially, so my sister has helped so much. Because we have the business, a lot of our money can go into the business, and obviously, you know, bills are very expensive these days, and obviously Ryan has his car, and then there's the gas and electric, that's ridiculous prices. Food is so expensive these days, so there's all these bills that just skyrocketed, and we're not those type of people that would just bring a baby into the world because we want a baby. We make sure we're financially stable, we make sure like everything's set out, you know, we can afford a baby and stuff like that, because babies are expensive. So we've actually thankfully sorted the money situation out, and we're able to financially support have another one. I just need to stop spending so much on birthdays and Christmases, because my girls are very spoiled. If you don't know already, like I do spend a lot on them, and I just need to like go back a bit and not spend too much, because my girls are grateful for like 2 presents, to be honest. It's just me that likes to spoil them. So as long as I cut back on that, we'll be all fine. What else do I need to update you on? Let me see if there's anything. Oh, I'm on my aspirin. I've been on aspirin because of Riley, if you don't know. My first pregnancy, he was born sleeping at 25 weeks. And they couldn't find anything, basically, what was wrong with him. He was a perfectly normal little boy. His cord was intact, his placenta was intact. My body didn't even know he passed. So, yeah, but basically, because everything was fine, they put me on aspirin when was it 12 weeks? Yeah, 12 weeks I get put on aspirin. So I have to take 2 tablets a day with food. They have to be took. I'm on iron tablets, I'm on vitamin D. I think that's everything I'm on. I have to be on vitamin D because of I've got a vitamin D deficiency before being pregnant, so I've got to stay on that, but I've just had to lower my dose because my dose was too high when I was pregnant. Iron tablets, I was already on them before, and my consultant said my iron is pretty low, and it always goes low through pregnancy, so it's safer to stay on my iron. My consultants are lovely. Midwife, she's lovely also. It's just she put me down as, on my notes, as high risk of premature birth, which worried me. And I spoken to my consultant about it, and she looked at me like, God, really confused. So she doesn't understand why she's put me down as high risk for premature labour, because I'm not. She said, I don't understand why she's done that. Your history hasn't anything to do with premature birth. So I don't know if I need to speak to my midwife. I don't see her until June. I don't see the midwife very often. I see the consultant every 3 to 4 weeks. The consultant's like absolutely amazing, and yeah, I need to speak to the midwife about that, because it's still on my notes saying I'm risk of premature labour, which I'm not. Like, Riley was born prematurely, but he was born prematurely by being induced. My body didn't actually go into labour at that point. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how she got that. So I do need to speak to her about that. But the main thing is the consultant. The consultant in my eyes is like the top don. Like, you know, she's more qualified than anybody else, and she gives me my advice, and I prefer to just take what she gives me than anyone else. And she scans me, and she's my consultant at the same time, which I've never had. I've had to like go through scans with several different like scan people, and then I have a different consultant every single time. Where this time I'm actually in it's called the Rainbow Clinic, and it's because I've had the loss of Riley. That is a new thing that they set up last year, I think it was. And which is really lovely. There's a support worker there, you know, because pregnancy is hard when you've lost a baby, and they're basically just amazing. Like, I generally can't fault them. I've only had 1 appointment, and they're just so nice, and like, they understand, and you don't have to constantly repeat, you know, why you constantly have to come in for extra scans, because I used to do that before. Like, they'd always ask, and it's just nice to not constantly have to repeat yourself, and they know, and they're there to like support you and everything. So yeah, generally can't fault them. I've I've wrote down I've had loads of blood took, but I think you know that already. When you're pregnant, you get loads of blood took. Do need to have my whooping cough vaccination when I next go to hospital. I've got so I had a scan at 20 weeks. I've got a scan at 22 weeks. And then it depends whether I want to have them. I can have them weekly. She said I can have them every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And I think, to me, I like kind of like the 4-week mark, because trying to sort childcare out is a big problem. Your kids aren't allowed in the hospital now, which is strange, because Lily was. And Ella loves scans, so you're not actually allowed to take kids in. So I have to try and find childcare for both girls. which is sometimes difficult. I don't have a variety of people that can look after my children. So yeah, I might do it every 4 weeks. And they check the placenta, they check the cord, they check the blood flow, they check baby, basically just all that kind of area they check every time I go in. Okay, so as for movement, most of my notes, to be honest, are just how many times I've thrown up, which was a lot. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, movement, I felt movement like lower down around 16 weeks, roughly the same as Lily. I think Lily was my earliest I felt movement. And then it's like little tiny bits of movement. And then it says 18 weeks, Ryan and Ella actually felt baby. So they put their head on my stomach. Baby's actually quite low down. And I've got a placenta, well, my placenta is posterior, so my placenta is behind baby, which I'm so grateful for, because Riley's was in front and I never felt Riley move. And like I never knew there was anything wrong. So with the placenta being behind, I think it's exactly like Lily's. I think Ella's was behind but up a bit, whereas this one's completely behind baby, so I'm very, very grateful. So yeah, they felt baby at the bottom, and now he or she moves constantly, mainly when I'm sat down, like bedtime, when I've done like the bedtime routine. They're probably thinking like, oh my god, for that, mum's sat down. And yeah, it's so lovely to feel he or she move. Names, we've got a little girl's name. I think we're set on the girl's name. As for a boy's name, it's so difficult. I have one name in mind, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use it, so I probably won't announce the names until, you know, he or she is born. I was convinced it's a boy. I had like this weird, how would you explain it? Weird kind of like, I don't even know. Basically, when you see something, but then you blink and it's not actually there. I can't remember what that's called. Anyways, I seen boy, just the word boy written in my ceiling when I was napping, and I woke up like half and half, and I could just see the letter boy, which was very strange. And I blinked and it disappeared, because, you know, is it hallucinating? I don't know if I was like hallucinating. Anyways, and then I've just had like, because this pregnancy's been so much worse than the girls, I just assumed it might be a boy, because, you know, it's been horrendous, the sickness and everything. But then we went to the 20-week scan, and the scan lady measured the, what's it called? Is it the thigh bone between, like, on baby's legs? I think it's the thigh bone. Well, anyways, he or she legs were like this, like a triangle, and she measured there, and like, you're trying to not look because you don't want to know, but when she was measuring that, like, they generally didn't seem like there was anything in between their legs. But so I am convinced more that it's a girl, but obviously she didn't tell us because we don't want to know. And then a lot of people have said it could just be hidden, because she knew we didn't want to look in that section, so she can, like, you know, zoom out a bit, so we might have not seen anything. So I'm like, kind of like, I was like 60% boy, 40% girl. Now I'm 60% girl, 40% boy. Obviously it's got to be either one of them, but it is driving me insane. My sister's dying to like go baby shopping, so yeah, everyone's dying to know what baby is, but we're just torturing everybody. I'm keeping it as a surprise, which is nice, you know. What's keeping me going is when, you know, I get into labour, and when baby's out, and it's just like I've never had that magical feeling of like, it's a boy or it's a girl, you know. I've always known, so even for like the midwife and the staff at the hospital, I think it'll be a nice feeling, you know, whoever's delivering baby, to like get to experience that as well, because I don't think it's very unusual these days. I've told a lot of people, obviously everyone knows, it's quite obvious I'm pregnant now, and everyone's like, oh, do you know what you're having? I'm like, oh, and even it's surprising the amount of people are like, oh my god, I couldn't do that. Like, it's very rare to leave it as a surprise. It's not very common, I think, these days, which, you know, this is my fourth, and this is my only surprise pregnancy, so I totally understand. Anyways, I better wrap this video up because my eyes are burning from the sun and the sun's starting to beam through. I'm just going to show you my bump. Ow, ow, ow. My legs have gone dead and I need to get on with cleaning. So, I'm wearing these like, I don't know if you can see these baggy trousers because my leggings are really tight. So this is from the front and then this is from the side. Hopefully you can see because I don't really see. And then the top up. I do feel really big, but yeah, I don't know. My belly button's popped out already. And then this side. So yeah, I've got like quite dry skin. That's one of my symptoms. It is like, oh god, my skin, it seems to go so dry around my belly and my boobs and my arms. Nowhere else. So that's a new thing. I forgot to mention that. But I do feel really big. Like I'm struggling to like bend down. Heartburn. Oh my god, I forgot to mention heartburn's been horrendous. Like it's been so bad that I'm having to like gulp down Gaviscon. And so close to like being sick, and I don't remember having such bad heartburn so early on. I remember it being horrendous like towards the end. So yeah, that's not been fun. That's just been horrendous. Like it's just the burning sensation in your throat, and no matter what I eat, it just doesn't go away. So that's been disturbing my sleep a lot. My sleep has been disturbed quite a lot also. Because of just not feeling comfortable or heartburn. At the minute I've got really bad hay fever, which I'm actually quite shocked I haven't sneezed through this video. But my hay fever has just been horrendous and I don't know if I can take, is it antihistamines or hay fever tablets? I don't think I can take them because they say you have to consult your doctor. So I need to ask my consultant if I can take them because I've never been heavily pregnant in the summer and I'm going to be heavily pregnant in the summertime. So not only I hate the summer, if you don't already know, I hate the heat. So yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm dreading it, I'm going to die. Not really, but yeah, it's going to be horrendous. I get very hot anyway, so that's why I don't like the summer. And then put on top of that the summer, I'm praying we don't have a heat wave, and I'm going to be very, very heavily pregnant. So I'm just going to be living in a bikini. Oh dear, so yeah, I'm not looking forward to that bit. So I'm dreading, oh god, I'm dreading it. I try not to think about it too much. It's like semi-warming up with like 11 degrees today, so it's not too bad. But when it starts getting in like 25 plus, that's when I'm like not going to cope. Oh dear, I don't know how, but luckily we do have an air conditioning unit because here in the UK you don't actually have air conditioning units in your house. I think you do in like America and stuff, but yeah, so we had to actually buy a plug-in one. So I'm probably just going to live in front of that. But I think that was everything. I'm trying to think if there's anything I need to update you on. Trying to like overview, trying to like cram everything into one video from finding out to 21 weeks. But yeah, I think that was everything. Is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else. I think that was everything. You have to let me know if you've got any questions, if I've missed, I can't remember if I've missed anything. There was a lot. I was meant to do this once I found out, and then the 12 week, and then it kind of just got further and further and further away. But I've been very ill as well, so like I said, with the sickness, it's just been so bad. At one point I thought I was going to go into the hospital because it was just horrendous. Oh, my eyes are starting to go. I think it's serious. Right, so I'm going to wrap this up because I think my sinuses are kicking in again. And it's gone very blinding in here. So, yeah. I think that was everything. So fingers crossed there should be so many more videos coming. I've got whole videos to film. I've already got 2 videos I need to edit that I've already filmed. The business, I need to talk to you about the business. That I need to talk to you about Lily. There's quite a lot I need to talk to you about, like a life update and stuff. So I have a lot to update you on, but for, you know what, just get this pregnancy video out there before baby's here. So I've already passed halfway. And yeah, it's just going crazy. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.